Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 34 of Brewing Conversation. My name is Matt Ross,
I'm Charlie Van.
and we're back here on Zoom, socially distancing responsibly. But we thought that, we'd do another show before. Wait, what's going on next week?
I'm going out. I am going out of town to see my sister. It's my niece's first
That's
birthday. I mean, I'm gonna be definitely safe about it, but we're going to Memphis, so I haven't seen them since September. So
Okay. I knew something was going on. I just forgot what it was.
the big one.
Yeah.
And
That's
already a year.
Already 1 year.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy how time just everything. Even now during quarantine and all.
Mhm.
I mean, we're already July 3rd.
Right. Yeah, it's time moves very quickly.
Yeah, it does.
It's weird how time can. It's like, it depends on the situation. It can move very fast or very slow, but it's always the same. Like, a minute's a minute, but sometimes a minute is a long time. It's weird.
Didn't Einstein do something about that? About time.
Yeah, relativity and all that.
By the way, I poorly poured this, but this is Sweetwater. I've had this on the show, but Sweetwater 420.
Yeah, that's from back east, right?
Atlanta. Yeah, speaking of my sister, she took me there in September. Man, I tell you what, it's one of the. I haven't been in many tap rooms, but that is a huge tap room.
Yeah. I like it when places have like a large tap room to accommodate a lot of people. I don't like it when they get too crowded and too loud,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of places like that. But from what I've noticed, at least in DFW, is that a lot of breweries tend to, like Deep Ellum, for example, recently, like in the past couple of years, revamped their tap room and made it pretty big and have an outdoor area. And I think that's a great idea because especially in Texas, like you can have an outdoor seating area, sure, but come like now, July and August and September, people aren't going to want to go outside.
Oh yeah, no,
be sweating and drinking beers. I'm actually not drinking beer today. I'm drinking. This is a cab from a vineyard or a winery called Hess. This is actually the Alomi cab, and it comes
nice.
has like a purple label, but this is a very jammy.
Kind of has a grape look too, a little bit.
Well,
almost.
I mean, it is wine made from grapes.
Yeah, that's true. But if you didn't know, wine was made from but it has more. I guess I should say it almost has like a purpley red more than just because some.
The color varies, but this is a very jammy wine.
Yeah.
It's a very obviously a very bold. Cabs are very bold and robust and dry. This one has like a little bit of oak on the back end of it, but it's mostly like berries, like cherries, maybe blackberry, plum. We had it with dinner. Hillary wanted to open a bottle of wine, and we have quite a few bottles. So I was like, I might as well bust this one open. We had steak for dinner, so
perfect. Right.
It's a good pairing. And on the back of the bottle it says good with grilled meats and charred vegetables or roasted vegetables, and that's what we had. Not very often. I don't think I've ever drank wine on the show, but here it is.
We had that port one time, but we didn't do visual. You brought over a port that was like 14% or something. You had to try just a little bit. Might have been more than 14% actually.
Port wine's actually closer to 19, 20.
Yeah. Because you gave me just a little bit to try.
Yeah. Port's really good. It's got a really good flavor. It's like 300 calories per glass. So it's a very it's a fortified wine, and the reason why it was fortified, so it's from Portugal. So port is short for Portugal, and it's heavily fortified, so it can be distributed, shipped. Back in the day, before steam engines and the Industrial Revolution, there was just you relied on the wind. And so they fortified the wine to make it travel better. So but have you said what you're you did say what you're drinking.
It's a Sweetwater 420, so it's an extra pale ale. It's about, as far as the percentage, 5.7, so right there at 6. Definitely one you can have in the summer.
Looks like
I really enjoyed it. It's great. It's not overly hoppy. I always recommend it. The first time I had it was at the Ginger Man, and it's my go-to if I see it on tap somewhere. But I like it a lot. Actually, also, and I might have mentioned this on the podcast before, but they have a Mexican style lager there that's like 7%, which is pretty high for a Mexican style lager. But this extra pale ale, man, I could definitely drink a couple of these. But as you can see, it's sort of not far from. That's the thing about pale ales; they're not far from that Pilsner kind of hue color. A little more kind of yellowish towards almost orange. So, but it's not overly hoppy. You know, pale ales are kind of right there neck and neck with IPAs. They're the more ones that I like to introduce people to who are like kind of not feeling an IPA yet. And I'm like, well, try it.
Do you know why it's called 420?
Yes. So, well, they also have a hemp beer there. Okay. So, yeah. And actually, I think it's their, I could be wrong, their G3. Oh, I'm sorry. I am all messed up here on that. Why that was portrait there, because I know they have the hemp. This one is actually, it says it right here, a tasty West Coast style, and you can, it's it has that West Coast flavor, but it was first conceived in our Bat Cave on 420. So there you go. So yes, it does have a little inside pot joke, but it does have that West Coast. I'm glad that it mentions that, because like I was trying to think of how I can describe it, like Sierra Nevada, that kind of style. Steam Theory here in Dallas has a lot of that West Coast, which is not overly hoppy. It's kind of very mild, smooth, almost like a blonde ale, almost kind of. Because blonde ales have those kind of a little bit of a bite to it, but it's very smooth. I would say anything that's kind of West Coast like that. So, but this is like I would say their flagship beer.
Right.
Now with that cab, is it does it have a tart taste to it, or is it very sweet?
So when it comes to sweet wine, usually wine that's actually sweet, they're usually separated. Cabs aren't usually very sweet. It could be like a characteristic, but it's not like an overpowering, like people don't drink cabs and are like, oh, this is very sweet. Usually cabs are, like I said earlier, they're on the drier end. They're big, they're bold. They feel they can be pretty complex, and they can have a lot of body, is what I was actually the word.
So they would be a bodybuilder of wine. There you go.
Yeah, basically. So like sweet wines are usually like your white Zinfandels, your Moscatos, and then they have reds that are sweet, and they're just called sweet reds, or they'll say Rosso. If you're getting one that's Italian, Rosso is like a sweeter wine. Dolce is another sweet word that they kind of throw around. So like those aren't really, I wouldn't say that they're sweet, but like I said, like there's a lot of characteristics and descriptors you use in wine. They have a specific vocabulary that they use to describe wine, much like that of Cicerones and for beer. I'm sure they have a similar system. This one, they use what's called the W set, and the W set's like an education, and it kind of tells you how to characterize wine and use certain descriptors to talk about it. But there's people out there that can drink wine and tell you what grape it is. So like Cabernet Sauvignon is a grape. A Merlot wine has Merlot grapes. So before, I didn't really know that before I started working in this business, but as I have over the years, you kind of learn stuff, but that's pretty basic. But like, there's Moscato grapes, and there's Chardonnay grapes. Zinfandel has grapes. White Zinfandel was an accident. It was created on accident. Now it's like one of the most popular varietals.
Yeah, I think my mom is Zinfandel.
Yeah, it's a lighter, sweeter wine that people like. Pinot Noir is also.
I was gonna say I like that. Because I'm kind of new to wine.
Pinot Noir is like a thinner. It doesn't have as much body as a cab. It's pretty smooth. They're normally pretty smooth. Merlot is more fruity, typically. What else is there? And I'm not really a sweet wine, but of course we talk about port. Port's great. It's a great dessert wine. Great with a cigar. Riesling is a sweet wine that's from Germany, but they obviously they grow Riesling grapes over here in California, and up in New York they make ice wine. Kind of going off on a little bit of a thing here, but ice wine is actually pretty fascinating because before they even harvest, most of the time, like say in California, you have cab grapes. They're on. Oh shit! I bumped my mic and made a loud noise.
We're in real time.
Yeah. In California, if they have cab on the vine, they pick it at harvest, which is typically like late summer, fall. Like it really depends on the region, and then they crush them and everything, and they all have their different ways of making it, just like breweries and beer. They all have like their different things that they do different methods. Ice wine is interesting because they actually harvest that when the grapes are frozen solid, and then they press the grapes and they make what's called ice wine, which is a sweet wine. There's grapes are grown kind of all over the place in the U.S. just about, but it's mostly like California, Oregon, Washington State. Like I said, the Finger Lakes region up in New York, Indiana, they grow some, and of course down here in Texas, we grow some. In Mexico, South America is pretty big in wine, but there's a specific climate that people look for. So like, France has a great climate. Italy, those are two well-known regions of growing wine. Germany, like I said, mostly Riesling. That's a sweeter one. Your mom might like that if she likes sweeter wines. And then, Argentina is known for their Malbecs. Chile grows quite a bit of wine too. But it's almost like and of course, it's been around forever, but wine growing and grape growing and winemaking has been around for a very, very long time. But it's all fascinating how, over time humanity figured out, well, if we get these grapes and we age them and they eventually turn into alcohol. And back then they were like, we don't know why it does it. We don't know what it really was called. But now we know that, it breaks down sugars and creates alcohol. Same thing with beer. Beer has been around for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Too. It's just really cool how they people figured it out. And now if they saw what we have today, how we make wine and beer today, how we have these stainless steel vats and, everything's
it's almost the
electronic.
Same. Would you say about the same process? Not too far from it, right?
Not too far. I mean, it of course it is different. I mean, they do use yeast in wine, but they obviously don't use hops. That tastes so bad with wine. And
a hoppy wine.
They rely solely on the sugar of the wine, of the beer, or sugar of the grapes is what they rely on to break down. And they, of course, like I said, they do add yeast.
It is funny that they have a rosé beer style though. I saw one the other day with like a rosé.
Yeah, and then they're kind of crossing them, like they'll age. In the past several years, the big thing lately has been aging wine in beer barrels, and they've been aging beer in wine barrels. So they kind of, and then they'll age. Well, actually, mostly they'll age wine in like bourbon barrels or even tequila barrels. They've tried that, and I think they're just tapping into that to figure out if we use. Because it's the same thing with wine. They have barrels, and the barrels have a specific wood, like French oak that's from France, and American oak that they use. Sometimes they use just American, sometimes they use French, or sometimes they'll use a mix of the two. But French barrels are expensive. I think they're $6,000 a piece or something like that. Wow. Because the French are very proud of their oak trees, apparently. And it's just like champagne in France. That's true champagne. Over here we have champagne that we grow and cultivate here in the US, but it's not actual champagne because Champagne's a region. So they're very big on regions too. Tuscany is a region in Italy. Mendoza's in a region in Argentina. There's very specific areas, and it's really strict in the old world, which is like Europe, like France and Italy and Spain. It's very strict over there how they they're basically are only able to grow certain kinds of grapes and everything over there. In the U.S., it's a little bit more relaxed, but they're very strict over there in what we call the old world. But this is this is from California.
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah, it's a great jammy red.
Yeah, I need to get more into like wine. Like I like red. I mean, I'm indifferent. Like I've tried some white wine too, but red I like Pinot Noir. Like when we were in Vegas recently in March, like we were drinking red wine every other night, and
right.
And so you just kind of did that palette there, and that's what I like. So, what are some like good affordable, like if somebody doesn't want to spend like a whole lot on a red or a bottle of wine, what would you say for like red wine drinkers, a good one? If you're like, hey, if you don't want to spend too much, going solo on it.
There's quite a few choices. Like I would say probably some of the best ones are probably in like the 15 to, you can get great wine at like $15 to $30 range. You don't have to spend a lot. This Hesalomi, I think, is like $40 a bottle.
Yeah,
and it's really good. But you can, of course, as everybody knows, you can spend upwards. You can spend like $90 on a bottle.
100, right?
Oh yeah, you could, and also it depends, like the rarity, the vintage, there's some wines out there that are for sale, but the winery doesn't make that anymore, so it increases the value, and there's all kinds of stuff. But I would say if people were looking for something they could find in the store common, 14 Hands is a great one. I think I recommended that one to you.
Yeah,
that's out of Washington State. So if you follow the line of longitude from Washington State back east all the way to France, they're right there next to each other. So France is obviously a world-renowned wine-growing region where they grow all kinds of grapes, and Washington State in the U.S. is pretty much dead even with it. So they have very similar climates, and of course, like just the terrain. That's a big part, which they refer to as the terroir. Why is that so hard to say right now? Just the growing it on the mountainside and orientation toward the sunlight. They get really, really involved with how they do it. So, and it's really fascinating. Obviously, it's just a plethora of information that and then all this knowledge that goes into it. It's crazy. But yeah, 14 Hands, they have a Cab, a Merlot, a Hot to Trot Red, a Stampede Red, even they have what they call a Juicy Red blend. They have a Chardonnay. They have a lot. They make quite a bit because, like I said, they're from Washington, so they're able to grow quite a few different grapes. I think they might even have Rieslings. There's not as common, at least in the chains, but like in the wine stores, you'll probably could find their Rieslings in there. But that's a good one to start from. I would think, for sure. Another good one that just came to my mind is one called Joel Gott.
Joel Gott?
Yeah, Joel Gott is a California winemaker. He's really, I like him. He's a pretty down to earth guy. He's just so simple. Like he's like a multimillionaire, but he's also, like, you couldn't tell it by looking at him. He's a very humble person, and he kind of has that same approach to his winemaking. He just wants to make wines that everybody can enjoy. So his wines are like in that middle tier, I would say, like around 15 or so.
It's from like Northern California.
Not northern. His stuff is normally from like Napa, Sonoma area, which is like more like south or like central. I'm really bad with those.
Because I know like Northern California has a big wine thing, right?
There actually there's not much as far as I know.
So it's more
as far
central.
as AVAs go. Like there you have Sonoma and Napa and Santa Barbara County. Yeah,
Northern California, if you want to be in the business, right?
It could be, but from what I understand, there's a lot of cannabis growing up in Northern California.
Well, so it's it's different kind of fun time.
Yeah, there's cultivation and agriculture, but it's just something different. But
keep in mind, there you go.
Yeah, you can get all involved in it. Have you seen that one movie? What is it called?
Oh, Sideways. Yeah,
have you seen it? I haven't seen it.
Oh,
is that Paul Giamatti in it or something like
that? Yeah, it's great. I mean,
but I had another guy in the wine business tell me, he's like, "Oh, you need to watch it because it pretty much talks about how like the Pinot Noir grape or something like that ruined."
Yeah, I mean, overall, it's just a great movie. He was nominated. Thomas Hayden Church, who's actually originally from Texas, is in it. It's a great movie. And I say under the radar because, like, I mean, it came out when we were in high school, but like under the radar, it's more like, like your buddies, like, hey, check this film out if you haven't seen it, kind of that. Like, but it's great. It's a great kind of indie take on it, but I'm sure you'll have more of appreciation now that you work in the industry.
Yeah, because in high school I didn't drink wine. I didn't drink I didn't drink till probably senior year, and then I regretted it, and then I didn't drink for like 2 years after that.
Yeah, well,
drink too much.
And wine's like one of those. I feel sometimes like you got to be introduced, you got to learn about it a little bit. It's definitely a big preference. Right. Beer is something. Now, not everybody's a beer fan, but beer is always commonly passed out, especially like you mentioned, when you're in high school, college, and that. But wine's something you can definitely learn a lot more. But yeah, definitely check out Sideways.
That's one I need to look at, and I haven't. I haven't really been watching much of anything. I mean, Hillary and I are watching. I bought the entire Bourne series on Blu-ray. So not just the trilogy, but there's the one with Jeremy Renner.
Bourne. I forgot what the title of it is because the Ultimatum was right before it.
It was Identity, Supremacy, Ultimatum,
and then something project or something.
And then there was one just called Bourne with Matt Damon, and those are all 5 of those are in this, and it was like $30 on Amazon. And I had the trilogy on DVD, but Blu-ray is better, and it was cheaper than I'm pretty sure than I bought that trilogy for. Like I bought that like over 10 years ago. So, but she wants to watch them because we basically what we did before is every weekend we'd watch one of the Harry Potter films. That's 8. Yeah, that's 8 films.
7.5. 10.
Yeah, I mean, well, they had Deathly Hallows the 7th, and then they had part 2. So
yeah, that was called Making Money.
Yeah, or they didn't want to have a 5-hour film.
Hunger Games did the same thing. Yeah, Hunger Games did the same thing.
They probably filmed it all at the same time and just released it in 2 different parts. But it would have been it would have been longer than Return.
Well, look at The Hobbit. 3 movies from 1 book.
Yeah.
So.
Right. But yeah, that's what we've been doing. We've been watching what do you call them?
Franchise?
I guess.
That's what it is.
Multi-film.
It's a franchise. It's a franchise because if it's a trilogy,
because there's like the Avengers franchise and all that. Iron Man franchise, Spider-Man.
Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan's a franchise, and it's a character. What's interesting about Jack Ryan, the reason why I bring it up is it's not far from Bourne as far as character is. It's this CIA character, but it's never always the same actor. Harrison Ford's played him, Alec Baldwin's played him, Ben Affleck's played him,
right?
And now on Amazon, John Krasinski is playing him. So it's one of those franchises where it's not always like 3 movies in a row. It's like scattered out, different actors. But they're all could be considered in that Jack Ryan franchise. Like the character, it's kind of like Bond. Bond is not always the same actor. Sometimes, you've seen it reprised several times.
Yeah.
So.
Right on. I'll be right back. Actually, I gotta check something. It's okay. It won't take long. I gotta make sure that the air conditioner.
Well, I'll just keep jabbering. All right. So, Matt checks on that. So, and when he gets back, we'll talk about this too. But since we're talking about franchises, and he mentioned the Avengers, So it looks like it's possibly going to be Michael Keaton, maybe, coming back as Batman in the Flashpoint, the Flash movie. I don't think it's 100%, but that is what they're looking at, which would be awesome. So if you don't know the whole Flashpoint, in that Bruce Wayne is dead and Thomas Wayne is Batman. So Michael Keaton will be Thomas Wayne, which is Bruce Wayne's father, and plays Batman. So that is awesome. I'm just excited because Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman of all time. I want to see them to do the Batman Beyond movie and bring Michael Keaton in. So what I was saying, Matt, is because you had mentioned Avengers, and it made me the breaking news this week, and it's rumored. It's not. I don't think it's 100%, but there's going to be the Flash movie, but it's Flashpoint, and in the Flashpoint, Batman dies, and Batman's father lives, and Batman's father is Batman, and they're talking about Michael Keaton coming back and playing Batman.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's an older Batman, and he's avenging his son, which Bruce. So I like that because there was Michael Keaton had expressed interest in when we were kids, like right before junior high, Batman Beyond, which is a futuristic Batman, was a hit show, and Bruce Wayne's older. And I was like, man, that could be Michael Keaton if they did that storyline. But this is cool, like having Michael Keaton in the world, like if they do it.
Right. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And I actually have some of the Flashpoint comics that I started.
They're good. I mean, it's different.
In college.
Yeah, Flashpoint's a great take on the Flash and just that whole world. It's a good plot twist. Everything is shaken up, and see, it seems like Justice League is having a new breath of fresh air because the cut that came in theaters a couple of years ago didn't do well, but now we're gonna get the Snyder cut, Zack Snyder, on HBO Max. We could see Ben Affleck come back. Ryan Reynolds is apparently gonna have a cameo in it as Green Lantern. So they may switch things up. We may see more and maybe better improvements. Now, that's not going to neglect or push aside the Batman, which is Rob Pattinson. That's a whole other universe, but they may tie it all in.
Yeah.
Somehow. So you have several Batmans going. You have the Thomas Wayne Batman, Michael Keaton, and then you could have the Robert Pattinson and then Ben Affleck over here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have a chance because right now you mentioned Avengers and all that's kind of, done right now, minus the Disney Plus spinoff series and the Black Widow movie. It's like a prequel. But, I mean, there's not a lot of – they're not redoing like Captain America or Iron Man anytime soon. So, this is a chance for DC to kind of rise back up. They, Wonder Woman got pushed back, I think, till August 1984.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But I bring that up because that excited me. Like I was saying, Michael Keaton's my favorite Batman. I love those first two Tim Burton Batman. So to see him back in any capacity, whether he's in this suit or not, would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Geeked out there a little bit.
Right. So you mentioned earlier that you wanted to talk about like our top 5 favorite summer beers.
Yeah. It's summertime. We're now deep in summer.
I don't have a list made. But I'll just go off the cuff, I guess.
Yeah, because you probably will go for the same ones every summer.
Typically. So I really like. These aren't in any particular order, but these are probably my top 5. So I'd say Shiner Light Blonde. Mm-hmm. I would say True Love by Martin House, Salty Lady by Martin House. And then I would say that's 3. Shiner Premium is one that I really like that has that crisp. I'm probably missing some that I really enjoyed but forgot about at the moment. And for my 5th, I'd probably have to say I'm trying to think of a good one. No, not that. I was thinking of like pickle beer, but I don't really like that one as much.
Yeah, I've never had the pickle beer, or never had it.
I can only have like one at a time. That's not something you can have a few of. Man, I can't. I'm trying to really think of one that. I'm trying to think of this one that I've had that I just can't remember what it was. It was no. I thought I had of it, but I couldn't think of what it was. I should have made the list before we started the show. I didn't even think about that. I was just busy right before this. I will say for my last one, I'm trying to think of a cream ale that I had. What was that? I can't really think of it, but Ballast Point Calm Before the Storm is a coffee cream ale that's really good in the summer. I haven't had that beer in a long time. I don't even know if they make it anymore, but that's my current off the cuff list. But Shiner Light Blonde's for sure like my go-to right now. I think I've mentioned that on the show before, but
I love Shiner Light Blonde. It's in my top 5.
I like the Shiner Light, and honestly, I just like Shiner Light Blonde more than Shiner these days.
I like Bach, but Light just holds up better. I like Blonde. I feel it's just smoother a little bit. But like you said, when it gets warmer, Light Blonde is way more of a go-to.
Yeah.
But I won't turn away a Bach if a Bach is the only option. Not saying that in a bad thing. I'm like you. Like I like lighter and smoother. That's just me. Plus, I get a little more full with Bach. I mean, it's not like full like a Guinness, but still.
Yeah.
A light blonde.
I just remembered what the one I was really trying to think of was, the Shoots. What is it called? The fresh squeezed.
Oh yes, the
IPA.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
that one's really good. Yeah. That's a really crisp, citrusy. And then like that one we had with Corey when we had him on from Community.
Yeah, citrus slice.
Citrus slices. That's a pretty good one for the summer too.
Oh yeah.
Anything like that, and I think like they're being really smart about it with the summer beers, and whenever they kind of incorporate fruit and citrus, it really makes it more refreshing. And that's why honestly, like the seltzer boom that we have going on right now, people want to drink something that's refreshing, refreshing, doesn't weigh you down as much. So, you have your White Claw and your Truly out there. That's a big part of the market right now, are seltzers, because they're 5%. They don't have as many carbs. They're a bit healthier for you. And I actually have some that I got from work. Well, not really from work, but we just started distributing this blue agave seltzer called Ranch Water. And
Ranch Water is huge. Like, I hear a lot of people order that cocktail.
Oh, well, this is just a seltzer water called Ranch Water.
Okay.
Yeah, it's new. It's actually, it has like a Texas recipe. It tastes kind of like seltzer water with tequila in it. It really does. Nice. So it's because of that agave nectar that they use, has that kind of tequila taste. They have a grapefruit right now and a lime, but they're pretty good. And like I said, they're more, I would say, more refreshing, especially if you're outside. Like in college when we played beer croquet, I'd rather drink seltzers, hard seltzers, than drink beers.
Yeah.
Because if you're outside in the heat and you're playing.
Oh yeah.
That's a fun. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of beer croquet. You could probably look it up online. Everybody has a different rules, but it's a pretty fun game to play. And as you go on, whenever you finish a beer, you crush the can, you throw it, and create what that you call a mine. And if you hit your ball into the mine, you have to drink. I think it used to be like you have to finish whatever you have, but now most of us are in our late 20s, 30s. We're like, no, I'm not going to drink a whole. Especially after you just drank one and then you hit your ball and then you hit another can, you're gonna have to drink another one. Like, we're not gonna do that. So it's a fun game to play. But what are your
My top five, I would say the two beers that I had, I would say 1 and 2 would be what I had last week on the show, which is Carbach Love Street and St. Arnold Summer Pills. Number 3, I would say would probably have to be Citrus Slice from Community. Number 4 is going to be right here. This is easy peasy. We haven't had this on the podcast, but it's a nice citrus IPA from Deep Ellum. And I'm just going to show you right there. See,
yeah,
in a Deep Ellum Dallas Blonde glass, but I love their artwork. Yeah, it's got a nice citrus like taste.
Yeah.
So not too far from
that's a good beer.
The citrus IPA. I would say number 5 would be Shiner Light Blonde. On honorable mention, and I'm saying honorable mention because they're not in stores with this beer. You can do it to go. Is Steam Theory's wit beer when wit hits the fan. Wit beers are really good during summer too.
Yeah,
nice, really refreshing. And they're Czech Pilsner, but that's good year all around. That to me, that's more a year all around. But their wit beer is really good, so that would be like an honorable mention. But yeah, I mean, Shiner Light Blonde obviously in the mix, but any citrus IPA or cold shiz too. Golden Opportunity for Petacolas is right up there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and Singularity, Steam Theory.
Singularity, yeah, Singularity. I would say another honorable mention as well is the Local Buzz honey, their honey.
Yeah, we've talked about that the rye.
Yeah, it's really good. Had that on, and I mean that one. Yes, you could drink it all year, but it's summertime. It's perfect. Of course, Dallas Blonde, which is their flagship, is really good.
Yeah, that would probably be an honorable mention for me too. Is Dallas Blonde.
I don't get it as often because I always get either the Easy Peasy or the their IPA, the Deep Ellum IPA. That's another one too. But forever I would drink the Dallas Blonde. Like that was always my go-to at restaurant. And then, and I still enjoy it. It's a good blonde. But for summer, for perfect. Blondes, Kolsch's, Pilsners, lagers. Oh, Community's Texas Lager. That's a good summer beer.
Oh yeah,
as well. I said the Czech Pilsner at Steam Theory, but also their IPA Kama Sutra is really good. They have a lot because they have a West Coast style, so all half of their beers are great for this time.
Right. You know what we should do is we should do something a little different, and we should do like our top 5 like favorite German beers.
Oh yeah.
And then do like our favorite top 5 favorite UK beers.
Yeah.
No,
perfect. Yeah.
I know of some UK beers that I like. Obviously, one of them's Guinness.
Yeah.
One.
Do you like Guinness Blonde?
I don't think I've ever had that. I just like their regular old, which I've never been over there.
I want to go. We need to do a beercation to Dublin.
That's an expensive beercation.
Yeah, I know.
But Hillary said she had Guinness at the Guinness Brewery in Dublin, and she said it was awesome. And she said it's not anything like it is here.
Oh, that's what I hear too.
Yeah. But they do have a brewery open now here in the States. Guinness does.
Well, at least got to do like a beercation in Colorado.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Pretty much, you can just about go anywhere. Any major city will have a lot of places to go. Like Colorado, so there's breweries all over the place. I'm sure LA, there's some all over the place. Portland would be a really good spot to go to.
Yeah.
Portland would probably be a good spot. Seattle, I bet, would too. Obviously, they also would have a pretty good coffee scene up there as well.
You would like this for both reasons. I hear Asheville has great wine out there, but I've heard like it's now a big microbrewery scene in Asheville.
Yeah, Sierra Nevada. Yeah, they have like this really cool brewery that looks like a cabin, and they have like an outside area for kids to play in. Everybody says how awesome it is.
Yeah,
It's becoming a pretty popular tourist spot.
It's like the Austin of the Northeast. It really is. Like, my aunt and uncle live 2 hours from Asheville. I haven't been in a long time.
Where do they live?
They live in Banner Elk, which is right by Boone and Raleigh. So like Appalachian State.
Oh yeah, so you have family in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I have family. They're further out east toward the ocean, but they
are they near Winston-Salem?
Further east than that, I think they're in Goldsboro.
Oh, okay.
So they're a little further east because Raleigh and Durham are west of them. But they're wanting to move to Henderson, which is pretty close to Asheville.
Yeah.
Because Asheville, they said, is really expensive.
Yeah, I bet.
But Henderson's supposed to be. It's also in the mountains, but it's cheaper for now. But I'm sure it'll go up too. But yeah, it'd be really cool. Sorry.
Yeah, they're in a really small town, like Banner Elk. I think I've heard right there in the mountains. Yeah, they live in a cabin on the backside, like a cabin house on the backside of the mountain. Cool. But my uncle said, like, the breweries and everything's booming, right now. And so, but Asheville is like Austin now. It's like taking off. Everyone's moving there.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there's probably celebrities there. I know there's a famous pro wrestler that lives there now. I mean, but that's cool. I mean, that's cool to see the growth there.
Yeah.
I would love to go out there. There's a house when you go called the Biltmore House. It's a legendary house from like the late 1800s, early 1900s. I remember in junior high we went to tour it, and they have a wine vineyard out there. And the house, you take a tour, and there's an indoor bowling alley, and there's an indoor pool, like where the pool was. And I kid you not, I don't know if they probably set something there, but it's like you could still smell chlorine. Like it was kind of eerie. But yeah, it was really cool.
I bet you can, because that smell sticks around for a while.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember?
This was like 2001.
Do you remember that building at UTA that was like by the Mac that smelled like they had an indoor pool in it? Do you remember that? Like by the Mac.
Oh yeah, Netterman. Was it Netterman? Yeah, Netterman. I think it was that.
A pool in it, and when you walk through there, it just because we played dodgeball there. We had intramural dodgeball in that building. On the second.
Oh yeah.
On the bottom floor was the pool. When you walk in there, it's just like
an old building.
Smacks you in the face with chlorine.
It looked like you walked into Hoosiers, like the old Hoosiers. It's like a movie, the old building, like school. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I think
I've never seen Hoosiers.
Man, Hoosiers is.
I know, because you posted something like movie that you've seen a lot.
So yeah, Brian and I are doing the 31-day movie challenge. I haven't posted today's, but day one was movie that you've seen a bunch of times. And when I was a kid, I would watch Hoosiers I would drive my parents crazy watching that movie on loop. It is a great movie. It's a great basketball movie, true story. Gene Hackman, late Dennis Hopper. Great movie.
Speaking of movies, our friend Bryant, he has Barnell Pictures. He and Charlie do a lot of short films and things that they enter in a contest. I told Bryant I really like this poster that he made.
Oh, the Peace and Fury. Yeah, that's our feature film.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's cool. I really need to do some filming with you guys, because I think
Hey,
I'm pretty sure I can act.
We get you in there. We need some. So Brian, I'll talk a little bit about it. If it's not too secretive, he got excited, wanted to do the poster and release it. So Peace and Fury is a feature. We just finished the script. We're kind of working on the second draft right now. It pays homage to 80s, early 90s martial art movies. So like No Retreat, No Surrender, Kickboxer, Karate Kid, but also Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
So Brian had the idea. I kind of helped with like the character development on that, and it's hopefully, our original goal is to shoot for fall, but with everything going on, it probably will be early sometime next year. But he created the poster from the get-go, and I saw the poster. I was like, that's awesome. Kind of has that 80s feel to it.
Yeah, that's what I told him. On the top, people might not be able to read it, but it says, from the people who watched No Retreat, No Surrender, and Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Peace and Fury coming soon from Barnell Pictures.
Yeah, so it's
His Instagram, by the way, is just Farnell Pictures, so you can just go there and you can see.
Brian does a great. Hey, and honestly, he also runs Varnell Designs, is his video and graphic design company. So Varnell Pictures is his film production, and but he is a full-time video producer. So anybody out there needs any video editing, any posters, anything, he does that. Does a wonderful job. So.
Yeah, that caught my eye, and I commented on it. I'm like, dude, this is an awesome poster. If that's what you called it, I wasn't sure if that's what it was.
No, yeah, that's a poster. Yeah, that he wanted to throw that out now, just kind of get the reactions, get the feeling going, and like I saw that poster, I got pumped. I'm like, yeah, so it's for real.
It has like it has like a Street Fighter, Saturday Night Live. Or Saturday Night Fever looking, because it looks like a dance floor right here.
Oh yeah, it's that retro, 80s, like early 90s, and that's what we wanted to make.
Magenta, pink, it's pretty cool. I saw that and I was like, dude, that's awesome.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're excited, and we grew up like as filmmakers, like a lot of those films in the 80s and early 90s. I mean, that's a big part of why we love doing this, and action and adventure. And but I come from a martial arts background, over 25 years martial arts. So like movies like that is what got me into martial arts, and we actually have some actual fighters casted in roles right now. So, but we're still casting, we're still adding people, and like I said, depends on everything with the world right now. But we were hoping for a late fall, but it could be early next year or sometime next year. So, but it's okay. More time to budget, and we're probably going to launch a teaser trailer at some point. And we'll have to. We're still all in the pre-production. There's a lot of planning and shot locations, but we're gonna have fun. It's gonna be fun. If you watch any of our short films, they're all comical in a way, and sometimes over top. And with this film, it's like I said, it's paying homage to some fun 80s, early 90s action martial arts movies. So in the script, in the story, you'll see like, hey, that kind of sounds like similar. It's kind of paying tribute to certain characters and certain things you've seen in the 80s. So
that's cool. Yeah, if you guys need an extra body for a role, hey,
we do, we really do, because we'll post more, and I'll get with you more after this. But we definitely need. There's going to be more casting, to be done. But
and we still need to do your film Slugger. We still need.
Yeah, I know we still got to get Slugger, which actually I think now is kind of better. We're a little bit older.
Right. So, because when we were trying to film that, was that like
we were like 27, 28.
Was that like 2015 then?
2016.
2016. Yeah, I remember the camera was hot.
100, 100 overheated. Probably don't do it in the summer, by the way. Don't film a baseball, but
I think that'd be a good spring movie.
Yeah.
Or even like you could even do like early fall.
Yeah. It was
basically just not the summer.
Yeah, the summer we had some production. Camera pretty much melted, and it was.
Yeah, the camera was not having it.
It was it's a baseball short that I actually originally started working on in 2012, but then rewrote it to be more fitting for us being older.
Right.
So. Yeah, we will definitely go back to that. Short films are always fun, and that's why
I've always wanted to do one.
Well, and it's a great experience. Our buddy Brent, he's been in a couple of. Brian and I, we've done the 48-hour, 24-hour film races, and Brent, our buddy, has been in a couple of them. So and so they're a lot of fun.
What was that one that y'all did? The Holy of Holies?
Yeah, Holy of Holies with our buddy Daniel Bailey.
Yeah, so, he was pretty good in that.
Yeah, no, he played the Reverend. So so if you've never done one of these things, you're given a line, a character, a location, or an object. The object was a hoagie. The location was a place of worship, which we had to modify. And then I picked janitor. So I played janitor, and Daniel plays this kind of leader of this worship group or kind of class. We filmed it outside of a community college in daylight, but Daniel was perfect. That was his first gig, and it's spot on. I was like, that's perfect. Like,
yeah,
he didn't have to.
After I saw it, I texted him. I'm like, man, you were pretty good in that.
My thing with most people, because like I was talking to one of our lead characters for this fellow's former UFC fighter, and we'll have a current UFC fighter in this film. I was talking with him yesterday, and he was just like, "Yeah, I've never acted." Just like, hey, like the role we wrote, he's playing this trainer, older brother. So like a lot of that's authentic to him, because he is an older brother and he is a trainer. So especially with a lot of acting and on camera, if you can bring just be you a lot of times, obviously there's times to like really act and step in a character, but some characters are not far from who you are. And if you can tap in, that's where you give your best performance. But pretty much the story of this film is, so the lead, Jason and Billy Malone. Jason has been overseas in Thailand training. Billy is his older brother who's trained him, used to be this fantastic standout fighter who got injured in competition. And their friend is, and this kind of sets the tone. It's not spoiler, but their friend gets killed by this drug lord, and Jason wants revenge, and so it's but it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna pay homage to a lot of your favorite '80s martial arts action movies. Super excited. Script's a lot of fun. Hats off to Brian, because we co-wrote it, but Brian did a lot of the writing on this, and we have an '80s band, probably 80s style band that's gonna help out. And I don't know if you watched our home jam, but Michael Wade, who performed on there, he's agreed to do the 80s style like composing score for it. So
cool.
We're excited. I know it's I mean, it gives me goosebumps talking about it, just because like that poster made it real, and it's like we've always wanted to do a feature, and so we'll definitely accept your invitation to the film class.
Yeah, I think I really always wanted to try acting, because I'm always like a pretty animated person, and I have good memory too, so that always helps. And I've just thought about doing it, because like when we were trying to film Slugger, I was like, yeah, I can do this. I think my character's name was Chris, and I was like like Slugger's best friend, and there was a flashback moment where we're on the couch, and and we were talking, and I was picturing how the scene would go in my head between you and I, and I'm like, I could definitely do this. I could make this work.
Yeah, you just the big thing, so I've been given acting here on, is acting 101. Just being on, and when I say authentic, is like what I love about like going to like Kevin Smith movies is their friendship films, and a lot of times there's a lot of realism there, so if obviously not every character you can necessarily like relate to, and that's the power of great acting, is being able to step in a character that's not known to you. But certain thing where it's buddy and that just that kind of you can find a connection there. It's like, oh well, this is how I would possibly talk to my friend, or here's how I would react. So there is a lot of that, and I like films like that. I like, whether short or feature, having something realistic, and I think you can bring in a lot out more from the actor and make them feel comfortable and get to where you want with that character in that scene. So, but yeah, like Slugger, that's definitely going to happen. But yeah, Peace and Fury, we're super excited. I think Brian's already like excited about doing a sequel to it. So once you're done with the first, but we have another film scripts ready for a sci-fi drama too. That's been a long time waiting. So yeah, I mean, now's the time, like during this, just writing, with everything going on. And it is interesting, because you were mentioning about watching stuff, and there's not obviously with everything going on, new projects and stuff, a lot of things are on hold or pushed back. We're going to get Mandalorian of it, which is great, our October So there's certain things that will be coming out, but there's certain things that on pause.
Oh yeah. Speaking of certain things coming out, Charlie made an error about the Boys.
Oh, I know.
Coming out.
Talking about getting excited.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks.
So that's actually, you said the fall, right? Is when it's coming out.
No, I said the boy. Oh yeah. The Boys comes out September 4th, early September.
Yeah.
And I said last podcast they came out last Friday. Because I don't know what I was saying. So the directors, like, they were just going back and forth and posting with the trailer. But I got excited thinking, like, oh, it's going to come out. Because I knew it was coming out soon. But soon is really September. So, but I got excited. It's like, oh, is it coming out today? I don't know why I thought that. But but hey, if it made anybody go watch season 1, good. Or rewatch it, I hope. But sorry, it comes out, jump the gun. But to think about that's better because that's around Labor Day weekend, and we don't know how much is going to be postponed or coming out. So
we don't even know if there's going to be any theatrical releases, and
so you might, what I was like, that's actually probably better, because last year the series wrapped up right before Labor Day. It came out last summer. Yeah. So I think it's perfect because we may not have a lot of films and original shows. I mean, I'm not saying there won't be, but I mean, a lot of like Barry got postponed.
Yeah.
Our favorite show. They were supposed to start recording in, I think, March or that, and that got postponed.
It sucks, but it's like I get why they're doing it.
Yeah.
It'd be really hard to try to. You can't have like a full production crew, and like everybody would have to get tested constantly. It'd probably be a headache,
Well, I think Robert Rodriguez just posted he's bringing his film to Texas, which he lives in Austin, but they're trying to do something. But we're not shut down yet here in Texas again, but you never know. So that's everything.
Could change.
Question. Yeah, by the end of the month, it really depends about with the mask encouragement or requirement now, not encouragement, requirement here. But some of the productions happen overseas usually, or in Canada, and nobody's traveling and not, So, and I know like Brie Larson was talking about this on the Hot Ones podcast or Hot Ones show. She was talking about how like there are productions that are like trying to going to follow COVID rules and restrictions, but still, if you have a shutdown, none of that happens. Because I know Scream 5 is supposed to happen late this fall in North Carolina in Wilmington. I mentioned that because we were talking about North Carolina, but everything's up in the air. If there's another way, whatever, but it is very interesting. So I think we will have some productions, but I think like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette's going to do like a Big Brother style where they're not going anywhere. They'll just be in a house because they were supposed to film in March and then go to Italy and all that. And
okay, so it's like a multi.
Yeah, because on the show they go all over resort, all over the world having dates, which is what makes it really extra intriguing and I'm sure awesome for the whole cast. But they can't do that, and I think now they're thinking right now to do it Big Brother, like at a resort somewhere. And but California still has some a lot of restrictions and cases, so we'll see about that. So
well, we'll have to see. It's all kind of up in the air right now.
It really is.
But I guess that'll do it for us.
Yeah,
it's been about an hour, but I think that was we covered some interesting things today.
Some interesting things. So
talk about things we don't normally. Well, I guess we talk about film a lot, but
we haven't in a while though. We haven't. We used to talk about. I mean.
That's back when the theaters were open.
Yeah, and more. But I will say this: there is a lot out there to watch on Amazon and Netflix. I'm going to say this because I've always been a big proponent of anything. Support that as much as you support your local business. Support indie filmmakers. There's actually a lot that produce and put stuff on Amazon Prime. And support that. you know, and also again, if you can find any musicians out there as well. And I say that right now because especially here in Dallas, well, in DFW, a lot of the bars and stuff had to reclose, and you know, anything that's like a music venue. So right now, there's any musicians that normally would be performing on 4th of July weekend, you know, aren't, and are having to find other ways. But you know, discover the music, look it up, you know, and support them somehow, because that would be great. So
yeah, I think so.
And have a happy, safe 4th.
Yeah, you know, let's celebrate this great country. Another year, another 4th of July. I mean, probably won't be able to celebrate like we normally do, but you know, just be safe. Whatever it is that you're doing, just be safe. Yeah, between fireworks and COVID, you know, like.
Well, and a lot of celebrations obviously are not happening this year as far as the big.
Right, the shows, yeah.
But you know what? You know, be safe, and also keep tuning in, subscribe, share. Like I said, we'll take a little break next week, but we'll be back. Probably more news in the world. You know, more things.
Yeah, we'll have 2 weeks at least to accumulate some material. Maybe come up with, you know, something that we could do differently.
And if you guys have suggestions out there that you would like us to talk about, or beers you would like us to try, or breweries you would like us to have on, you know, we had community back in end of April, and we're definitely still open to that. You know, we don't always just do this. We love doing this, but we like to talk to people. So if there's any segments you would like us to do, hey, we're very open-minded here. We're adapting. We're growing. You know, we've been doing this since 2017. So if there's anything new you want us to add, we're willing.
Yeah. Sounds good. And then, and shoot any suggestions you want to brewingconversation@gmail.com. And then, you know, we'll take them into serious consideration. And, you know, if we end up using your idea or a topic that you pick, then we'll definitely give you a shout out. But I guess until a couple of weeks from now, hopefully things will be better and not worse by then. I hope.
Hopefully not. One can hope. One can hope.
But you know, other than that, you know, we'll see you 2 weeks from today.
All right.